What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Fantasy Football Game Show presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon, joined as always by my co-host, Josh, and the always smirking John Luke down there in the corner. Today, guys, we are joined by a very special guest to help us out with our tier lists. We've got Andy Singleton, owner of expandtheboxscore.com, joining us. What's up, Andy?
What's going on, guys? Thanks for having me. I don't know about special, but definitely trying to do special things with Expand the Box Score. So as I was telling you guys before we went on, just entering basically, I mean, technically year 3, but really year 2. We added a bunch of things last year, including the whole scouting department. That 3 of our scouts have actually moved on, one to the NFL, one to the CFL, and one to University of Buffalo program. So already, having great returns on the investments, people are making into Expand the Box Scores.
Oh yeah.
A bunch of new things coming, upgrades, tweaks to the database, additions to the content team. We're just getting bigger and stronger, and hopefully, we'll be gaining some more people knowing of our existence. So expandtheboxscore.com. We'd love to have you.
You guys check it out. And I feel like you very casually said that 3 people from your scouting team went on to get like scouting jobs. That's pretty wild. That shows real value that you guys are providing there. That one's now with the NFL, CFL, and then with a university scouting department. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the NFL, Shayona, she got 4 offers from 4 different NFL teams, and decided to go with the Chargers. So she'll be out in LA working as a summer intern, and then with the opportunity to stay on for a full term throughout the season. And then Cyril Penn, who was our director, he was actually mentored by Mike Tannenbaum, and all of our scouts. Well, I should say all, but the majority have gone through different things like Scouting Academy and whatnot. So Tannenbaum was his advisor, his mentor, and now he took a job with Winnipeg in their front office. So he's moved on as well. But listen, I tell all these guys, listen, if you're leaving us, I hope it's only for better. And so far, it's working out for them that way.
That's dope. And you got our guy OQ working with you, right?
Yeah, Laquan is doing some videos for us. I've been talking to him for a while, trying to see, if he had any interest in, just putting some stuff out. And so far, it's been, really fun working with him. He sends me the videos, I do the artwork, dress it up a little, and then we put it out on Twitter. We were originally going to do it through YouTube, but honestly, we're not really concentrated on our YouTube channel right now. And it seems to have more success just being in line in the tweets. So we're just doing it that way. And so far, so good. I like what the feedback and reaction has been. So he's definitely a riser.
Didn't Jordan Vanek go to the Scouting Academy? I think one person Jordan, that's in our chat right here went to that same Scouting Academy.
He did go to the Scouting Academy.
Chat is lit right now.
The chat is wild. We got Craig in here, guys. Craig said, "Remember when you all start to fight over these tiers? The people's pen is mightier than the sword." Craig always coming in with some wordplay, and guys, our resident wordplay expert today is his birthday. So happy birthday, Craig.
Happy birthday, Craig.
We won't necessarily subject you to the full song, but I wanted to give you a birthday shout out.
Send you a DM with it.
Jordan, we were just talking about you.
Happy birthday, dear Craig. Happy birthday to you.
We were just talking about you went to the Scouting Academy, talking you up, and you come in here with a Pen 15 joke.
Wow.
Jordan, come on. You can't turn.
He's only like 30.
It looks like penis.
I get it. I think that's good. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
You got there.
Okay.
Good job. Good job, Josh. I'm proud of
when
you.
you first read it, Simon, but I figured it out.
What's up, Jay Wall? Welcome in. He said, "Hello, friends and Front Yard fam." And Sully said, "I know he isn't on the show today, but it is Craig's birthday. How about a shitty rendition of Happy Birthday for our friend?"
God.
Josh
Andy just did it.
Josh did. We used to sing Happy Birthday to everyone on the show. We accidentally started doing that, and we are all awful singers, but we're trying to phase that one out. Maria said first. First one to say first that is, but you got beat by Scott. He was in right before you.
So close. So close, Maria.
Scott Fish first.
Maybe
and his new catchphrase, trading makes fantasy fun.
Yeah.
Really?
It's a really good one. Keep it up, Scott.
Keep it up, Scott.
And Craig said Scott Fish being first is inevitable. And Anthony said, "Scott, why am I in the Nickelback satellite division? This is an outrage."
Nickelback gave some listenable songs.
Burner, welcome in. And Jordan says it's Scott First now. He's the guy that sells fish.
Scott First, the fish salesman.
What's up, Swamp? Welcome in. He said feeling better, so he's at work and he cries. Can't join us. He said hi, Simon. Hi, Swamp. Welcome in. Dave, you got beat by Scott and Maria, but maybe next time. And then Anthony said Simon has serious bedhead. Yeah, I am.
As soon as he posted that, I saw you start to fix it. I saw your insecurity come through.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I really
maybe I'll just fully
right like that. Leave it like that, man. Leave it like that. Leave it like that. Perfect.
I like that.
Kev says bird up, and Burner of Stone says Andy, if you have any openings, I'm here. Wanted to jump in there, so there you go. And Roto Sully, our resident Canadian, says Winnipeg is his team. Grey Cup champs, baby. All right, so now someone from the Expand the Box scores there in Winnipeg helping your team out there, Sully. Jordan said Dan Hartman.
Can I just say real quick? You said I think you said our favorite Canadian. I love Canadians, and this whole go back like 4 years ago. There was all that talk about if Trump won, how many people are going to move to Canada. It didn't have to do with politics. I would move to Canada in a heartbeat if I wasn't tied down by my
just because.
Canadians are awesome. They're just laid back.
Yeah, I think people think it's a huge country land-wise, right? But population-wise, it's really pretty small. They got a lot less people going on up there. It's a lot more laid back, I think. We have some family friends that I just found out like last week. For 5 years, they owned a bed and breakfast on Vancouver Island and said it was like the best time of their life just living up there. They can't imagine a better place to live. So, another Canadian. Sorry, I called Sully the resident Canadian. Dave Toronto,
I don't believe it.
I'm Canadian.
Dave Toronto is not
what
Canadian.
qualifications do you have? I see.
You mean Toronto is not your family name?
Yeah. That's definitely your last name.
And Sully's letting you know the door is always open, Andy. So you can move into Sully's house. There you go.
Nice.
His
he
wife
does offer that to every guest. Just
all right. Don't feel special,
guys. Today we are doing tier lists. We're going to start our redraft wide receiver tier list. About 3 months ago, we did a dynasty wide receivers tier list, and since then we've done a lot of redraft running backs. But today we are starting our redraft wide receivers. So we're going to be talking about a bunch of the big names going on today. Before we do that, though, guys, if you have not seen our redraft running backs tier list or any of the other ones we've done, you can find all of those on our YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. Front Yard Fantasy means a ton to us, and you can make sure you never miss any of these. If you didn't have it pushed, you might have missed Andy on the show today, and that would have been a catastrophe. But I say let's go ahead and get started.
You better watch out for Jordan. He's got a picture of you ready to go. So I don't know what he's going to use with it.
He literally has so much material to work with.
I know.
He has so many videos.
Watch out on Twitter. He's going to come at you.
Sully coming in with a stat says 38.5 million in the second largest country in the world land-wise. That is wild. I know San Antonio has like 1.4 million alone.
Would you live on all of that land though? Like, I feel like 90% of it is uninhabitable.
I have no idea. Ice. And Anthony's saying, actually, the border is closed right now, you effing liar, to Sully. That is aggressive.
That is aggressive. Just so you know, Scott, this is redraft.
This is redraft, but Scott says Jefferson,
I'm not saying you're wrong.
S tier, nobody in S tier. Then I suppose
definitely no Viking bias there.
Okay, guys. For those of you who have not watched us do tiers before, how this is going to work is we're going to take turns picking a player from this list to talk about. We will each say what tier we have them in and why, and then we will average out those to figure out where we end up with them. We'll go through 5 or 6 of these guys. I've got the top 8 up there, and then we'll move on to the NBA logos. Craig wants to know, is the door open for Simon's mom too? Only if my dad can come as well. I don't think he would be too fond of her just moving to Canada to live with Sully. But maybe,
Sully's wife is probably gonna have something to say about this. So.
She might not like it.
Yeah.
She'll move to Kennesaw, Georgia.
My door is always open to you, Mama Grunewald.
Anthony also knows this redraft wide receiver part 1 of 87. It's actually 89 parts that we're going to be doing on this. There's so many wide receivers to talk about. Andy, we're going to come to you first, though. You get to pick the first player we talk about. If you need a better look, here they are. We've got A.J. Brown, Calvin Ridley, Devontae Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, and Tyreek Hill. Which of these players would you like to discuss first?
Yeah, the interesting thing in looking at all this is how much I dislike the wide receiver position in fantasy these days. These are phenomenal names. these are phenomenal names. They're all going to be, super productive and super valuable. I have them all projected for over 1,000 yards receiving. I think the least touchdowns I have projected is 7, which actually happens to be Hopkins, believe it or not. Wow. Listen, I think you could easily put all of these guys into a top tier. You're kind of nitpicking if you're separating. I mean, it depends on how much you're trying to prioritize them. I'm happy with any one of them, but I think I want to look at the guys whose situations haven't changed that drastically. Of all the guys I just mentioned, DeAndre Hopkins, though, he's kind of the bona fide stud that proved to be kind of QB proof from his days in Houston and moves to Arizona, picks up right where he left off. And I think I like to look at the outside of the box, kind of see cerebral things of the game. And here's one thing that sticks out to me. This guy got to work. First of all, he's just amazing in his own right. Out of Clemson, the quote unquote wide receiver which hasn't really panned out that way, but he's got a lot of guys he can bounce ideas off of in the summer, all the camps he can go to with them and whatnot. Then he goes and he gets to play with Larry Fitzgerald and pick up all of his experience and learn a thing or two. And now he gets AJ Green to do the same thing. I mean, this is elite kind of level of, at this point, it's tiny little things that might make that extra little difference. So Hopkins has that. He's in a familiar role. He's the lead in that situation. He's got a great up-and-coming quarterback. So to me, he'd probably edge out everybody but Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's in a position for huge volume, and we've seen what he can do. So I really don't have a favorite in this category, but I would say Hill and Hopkins would be probably the two at the top.
So what tier are you putting? Are you putting DeAndre Hopkins in tier 1 then? We'll just stick with one person. We'll go through all of it.
Yeah, I think he's the most foolproof, if you will. So I'll just stick with Hopkins and say the conservative route would say I think he's the safest.
Tier 1 for Hopkins from Andy. Josh, what do you think? Do you agree with Andy there, or how do you view DeAndre Hopkins? And again, Andy, you kind of said it. All these guys are studs. Every single one of them has an argument to be made in tier 1, so we are getting a little nitpicky here at the beginning. But for sure. Josh, what do you think about Hopkins?
No, I was about to address that myself. I see everyone thinks everyone should be in tier 1. As we get through this list, I think we can actually separate these guys that we're showing right here. In my mind, there's 4 guys that are tier 1 and the rest are tier 2, and it probably makes up tier 2. We're probably missing 1 or 2 other guys, but so DeAndre Hopkins though, tier 1. Yep, I agree.
We've got 2 tier 1s, and just a heads up for everyone watching, it only lists 5 tiers here and now. As we expand this, I will add more at the bottom, but there was no need to put more than 2 tiers here, I think, for this list of guys we were doing. So I just have 5 up there to start. And then as we continue building out this list, we'll add more. John Luke, I think I know your answer, but where are you putting D-Hop?
I love this. Justin Jefferson Southwest. Very spicy. Very spicy. No, I completely agree with these guys. DeAndre Hopkins has not been outside the top 5 since 2016. It's insane. I remember everybody was fading him last year. Simon remembers because I was sitting there like saying, no, like I think he's going to be incredible. He's going to be consistently valuable. Even with
I had him as the wide receiver 4 when I first did my projections, and then I got so much hate. I saw so much negativity about him.
There's so much.
I learned a valuable lesson last year, and that's like if you go through the process and you trust your numbers, trust yourself, don't let the noise distract you. Because I moved him down to wide receiver like 14 after that. Like I went back through, adjusted, and you know what? Hopkins was a beast yet again. Sorry,
he was a beast. He only had 6 touchdowns, which tells me that he is way he's a higher ceiling that he can unlock here. And if Kyler and him can set up some sort of rapport this year, then I'm even more in on my favorite receiver in the NFL. Put him in tier 1. Lock it in.
Yep, we've got 3 tier 1s.
And my pick.
Lock it in.
We're going to go back around. Yeah, we're going to talk about most of these guys.
All right. I just want to
move him down?
No, sorry, I just want to address the elephant in the room. I mean, you guys got Scott Fish in the
We're going to talk about Justin Jefferson.
So
Josh, do you want to pick the next guy?
I'm going to pick Justin Jefferson next. I plan on it, actually.
Yeah, we can talk about J. Jeff. Josh, where would you put J. Jeff?
J. Jeff.
Justin Jefferson, I would love to talk about him. He's in tier 2 for me, Scott. I'm sorry, but he's a tier 2 guy for me. I think I don't know. I in redraft, I am absolutely taking DeAndre Hopkins and let's say 3 of these other guys ahead of Justin Jefferson. And I know we're nitpicking. I'm putting him in tier 2.
Tier 2 from Josh. John Luke, what about you? Where are you putting Justin Jefferson?
Don't kill me, Scott.
I feel like I'm super hyped on Justin Jefferson, but maybe not quite Scott Fish hyped. Dynasty is a different story, but in redraft, I do feel like there's a chance that we get a little bit of regression here. I'm with Josh again. I'm putting him in tier 2. It's not far off. Josh is now removed from SFB. So I'm actually putting him in tier 1. I changed my mind. Scott, don't remove me.
So we've got 2 tier 2s. Guys, I hate agreeing with you so much. I want to put him in tier 1. Dynasty, he's obviously tier 1, and he's quite possibly the number 1 overall wide receiver. And I'm not sure I quite have him there. Scott Fish's jail is now removed from Scott Fishbowl. Let's hear from Simon.
Just do it, Simon. He won't do it a third time.
Test him. Test him.
So I'm gonna put J Jeff in the green tier 1, right below the pink tier 1 on this tier list. That's where I'm gonna put it. So you guys both put him in tier 2. I'm also putting him in tier 1, but I think it lines up with what you guys said. There's just a little bit too much unknown for me. Adam Thielen's still there, and I think he's gonna be just as involved. 1,400 yards and 7 touchdowns is a bit preposterous, not just for a rookie, but for a wide receiver in general. And I find it difficult to project that for him again this year or even something similar. That doesn't mean he's not going to be a great receiver. That doesn't mean he won't be a wide receiver 1. I just can't project what he did last year going into this year. Andy, what do you think? How do you feel about Justin Jefferson?
I think you're muted, Andy.
Oh, you're muted.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute.
You're good.
I like him a lot. I've been going through doing team projections this year, so I'm all the way through the NFC. I'm halfway through the AFC. Well, 2/3 of the way through the AFC. He's actually my number 3 receiver on this list. I have him locked in for 100 receptions, 1,300 yards, and 11 touchdowns, which would be just phenomenal wide receiver 1 value. There's nothing not to like about him. I mean, I think Kirk Cousins has become more of a meme than what's realistic about how quality he's been in terms of being able to at least put up yardage and move the ball. So I have no qualms with Jefferson. So I'd be happy to get him, but what do you want to pay on him? What's the premium going to be? That's really what it comes down to.
So if you have him as your number 3 receiver, are you putting him tier 1 or tier 2 on this list?
You could throw him in the top tier. I only have, of the guys we're talking about, and Tyreek Hill's the only one I didn't get to the Chiefs yet, but of the other guys we're talking about, Jefferson, Diggs, and Adams are the only guys I have with 100 receptions. And, of course, Adams, there's so much riding in the balance of the Aaron Rodgers soap opera. So,
we're gonna get
I definitely put him with a huge question mark. But Jefferson and Diggs even, too, you could put in the top. So, yeah, I'll throw Jefferson in that top team.
So we had 1 tier 1 from Andy. Andy's the only one that Scott Fish likes anymore, and 3 tier 2s. Jefferson ends up in tier 2. But we got Sully in here saying Vikes D is better, and they will likely run more often as a result of his thought. That's coming from the Vikings fan.
Scott said the same thing there,
Yeah, I was going to bring that up as well. The fact that they might run a lot more definitely worries me.
And we got Roto Heat fantasy football advice saying, what is up? Oops, wrong account. And there's Rick Butts himself.
Ricky.
I said, what is up? And Scott Fish said, but I said
Scott
it first.
Scott did say it first.
Scott first.
It absolutely is a worry for me. That defense is going to be so much better this year. And Dalvin Cook's going to be the man. No, Dalvin Cook's the man. Like, as long as he's healthy, that's the one thing. If Dalvin Cook's not healthy, I think it actually helps Justin Jefferson.
John Luke, which player do you want to talk about next?
I said we were going to talk about him. It's Devontae Adams. As I'm putting Devontae Adams in tier 1. I'm putting him in tier 1. I don't care what the haters think. Devontae Adams is insanely good. Like, he only played in 14 games last year. I don't know that people realize that. He was averaging 22.1 fantasy points per game. That's insane. I think he's going to be good regardless of if Aaron Rodgers is there or not. Obviously, it's I'm even more certain if Aaron Rodgers is there, but he's so talented. I think in redraft, he's a tier 1.
Jill, I agree with everything you said except for the final answer, the conclusion of that. The second Aaron Rodgers signs, he's not just tier 1 for me. He's my number 1 overall wide receiver. Until then, there's a couple guys I would draft ahead of him. We've talked about him. DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill. That might be end of list. He might be number 3 on the list for me. But those two names I said are my tier 1, and Davante Adams is the head of that tier 2 until we get a little bit more information about Rodgers. That's not me saying I think he's going to be bad if Rodgers isn't there.
Saying you think he's going to be bad.
He's shown he can be successful with guys like Brett Hundley chucking the ball, but he's obviously going to be better. We're only going to get that like full-on elite level season if Rodgers is slinging him the ball there. So he's top of tier 2 for me, but he's still tier 2. We've got a tier 1 and a tier 2. Andy, where are you putting Davante Adams?
Yeah, I don't want to be caught holding the bag with Adams. That's really what it comes down to. So, talent-wise, yes, of course, he's right up there. He would be my number 1 as well, based on these projections, and that's projected with Rodgers. So, the drop-off from Rodgers to Love is just too significant for me. We're talking about DeAndre Hopkins before, and he showed to be, he's QB-proof in Houston. Going 3 years straight, he had 3 different quarterbacks until turning out top years. I think you can kind of say Adams is the same thing, just his talent level is so great. He's a unique target because he's so big. But at the same time, like you talk about a rookie QB, you're talking about a significant drop-off in terms of accuracy, in terms of familiarity, that comfort level that Rodgers has built with him. It's just too much of a gamble for me to take. So I'm trying to look up his ADP right now. If it's a discount, if it's a bargain, fine. But, what's the old adage? You don't win your drafts in the first round, you lose them in the first round. We're looking at Adams as a first or second round pick here. If he returns value as a wide receiver 2, you're happy to have him on your roster. But if you didn't recover that draft capital you invested, then that could be your season.
Yeah, you draft him in the first round and he ends up being a wide receiver 2. You're disappointed in that.
What tier would you put him in?
I'd honestly have to if looking at these guys, I want to say I'd even push him down to tier 3 until we know more about Rodgers. But
that's what Anthony was saying. He agrees with you there.
Okay. I was going to say it's kind of – I feel it's disrespectful to say anything lower than 2. So can I say 2.5? And can I be the swing vote?
You can say 2.5, and we'll throw it in the average as 2.5 and see what happens. Josh, what do you think? Where are you tiering Davante Adams?
Listen, with Aaron Rodgers, he's the number 1 wide receiver. Without Aaron Rodgers, he's still tier 1. I am with you, JL, on this. Yes. He's a tier 1 wide receiver, even without Aaron Rodgers for this year. Maybe not for dynasty purposes. He's at least top a little bit 10. Older. He's at least elite. Yeah. He's elite. And we don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty right now. I'm still putting him in tier 1.
Okay, so we've got 2 tier 1s, a tier 2, and a 2.5 from Andy. Just the nod of respect saying we can't put Adams in tier 3, but that averages out to a 1.625, putting him in tier 2. So Davante Adams
2.5 mattered.
It did.
The 2 would have made it 1.5, and the tie would have gone to the guest. So we would have thrown it down.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I am picking the player I want to talk about next, and I'm going to just get it out of the way. It's the only other player I'm putting in the top tier, and it's Tyreek Hill. There's just a level of safety and separation with these two players in the situation they're in, the talent that we've seen on the field. Like, it's not just talent and opportunity. These are the only 2 guys who are like, I think I would be disappointed and shocked if they finished outside of the top 5 wide receivers, if they stay healthy. Like any of the other guys on this list, if they're wide receiver 10, 8, like – fine. Like I wouldn't be shocked if DeAndre Hopkins or Tyreek Hill finish as wide receiver 8 to 10. I'm surprised and disappointed. Tyreek Hill's tier 1 for me. I almost started moving him up there already.
He belongs in there. We all know it.
Andy, we talked about him a little bit earlier. Where are you putting Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, he's in that top tier. He's got to be.
He's got to be, right? Patrick Mahomes throwing him the ball.
He's good. This is still the most explosive offense in the league, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so.
he's the primary target in that. It's got to be.
Yeah, 100% agree. Josh, what about you? Are you in agreement? Tyreek Hill, tier 1?
Tier 1. He's my number 1 wide receiver drafted right now.
Me too.
Maybe in Dynasty as well as redraft, but right now he is my number 1 receiver for redraft. Tier 1, no doubt.
Tier 1. Also about Davante Adams, Rick said he'd be more worried if there was anyone else there to command targets. I feel like he's getting 160 plus targets no matter
great point.
what.
Such a good point.
I don't know if they have
Well,
enough volume if Jordan Love's the quarterback.
I
me
think
pose
they
this
do.
to you.
There's
They
no one
gotta
else
throw it.
there. Yeah, it's an
If-
NFL team. They have, they have to throw it some amount.
If Deshaun Kaiser was thrown to Devontae Adams, would you have that much faith?
I mean, he did really well with Brett Hundley and Deshaun Kaiser. Like Devontae Adams was still fantasy relevant, right?
He was
It
more
wasn't
than
that many games.
He
but-
was very good, actually. It was like 5 or 6 games.
I was
Yeah,
going to
it's like-
say,
he was
let's
very
not
good.
use, when we're differentiating between tier 1 and tier 2, let's not use the words fantasy relevant because we're looking for way more than that from these guys. Know what I
I
mean?
think he was pretty. I don't remember. his
We're
exact
off of
finish,
Adams
but-
anyway now.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, we
Yeah.
are.
John
is it
Luke,
on
where
me?
you putting Hill?
So yeah, Tyreek Hill, it's tier 1 for sure. Like he not only has that massive like win you your week type of upside every single week, but he's like incredibly consistent. So you get that nice combo of safe and just explosive upside.
Especially last year, JL. He was so
Especially- yeah.
consistent last
So
year.
he's one of the most consistent wide receivers.
Yes. If not the most.
Yeah.
Up in tier 1. Andy, we are back to you. We're going to do one more player. You get to pick the 5th player we talk about. Of these 4 guys remaining, which of these would you like to talk about? AJ Brown, Calvin Ridley, DK Metcalf, or Stephon Diggs?
I mean, the most interesting would probably be Brown just because of the Julio news. But if we're looking at that top tier guy, I think Diggs is pushing the envelope to be the last name considered for that. Just the rapport he built with Allen. I mean, you could easily say Josh Allen regresses, but everything we've talked about with these other guys being in that top tier, being the focal point of an explosive offense, Diggs checks all the boxes. There is no question mark. He's the number 1 primary option in the Bills' offense with a guy who can seemingly chuck it 100 yards in the air downfield. So, to me, the volume is going to be there for Diggs again. I think you get close to replicating what he had last year, even if it was a minor setback. He's still a wide receiver. So to me, Diggs will be the last name in that top tier before we start moving into tier 2. But if you want conversation pieces, the Tennessee wide receiver core is easily the most fun to talk about.
Diggs is perfect. I know that was music to JL's ears when you said Diggs is the last tier 1 guy. So we've got tier 1 from Andy for Diggs. Josh, what do you think about Stephon Diggs? Is he a tier 1 guy for you, or is he a tier 2 guy?
Tier 5. No, I'm joking. No, he's tier 1. There were. I kind of mentioned it earlier. DeAndre Hopkins. There's only 3 guys that I would draft ahead of him right now, and we went over all of them. It's and DeAndre Hopkins right now. Devontae Adams, I would actually draft after him, but I still think he belongs in tier 1. But it's Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins. So Stephon Diggs, absolutely tier 1. He turned it on with Josh Allen last year, and I think they're going to continue that. And he's such a good deep threat. Josh Allen really figured out his deep ball accuracy. I am so excited for Stephon Diggs this upcoming season.
We've got 2 tier 1s.
And they didn't really
John Luke.
add that much in terms of like competition. I know Emmanuel Sanders, they got Gabriel Davis there, but Diggs is going to eat.
Yeah, it's
the clear one.
virtually the same as last year, right? Like it's not any more or less murky. And that was the only thing I was going to add to Josh. Josh and I are just in sync today. I completely agree with everything he said.
Let's go.
He's tier 1 for me.
Tier 1. He's tier 2 barely for me, and that's not an indictment on him. I mean, look at the other receivers in tier 2. I'm truly only putting DeAndre Hopkins and Tyreek Hill in tier 1. And what it is for me is I've seen it time and time again from those guys. Stephon Diggs, I've seen it once, and it relied on Josh Allen taking massive steps forward. It's not just Diggs taking steps, it's the quarterback throwing him the ball. That level of uncertainty, and I'm not calling for a Josh Allen regression, just that level of uncertainty and consistency, doing it over and over again. Stephon Diggs is tier 2. Barely for me, and that feels dirty, but it's more about Tyreek Hill and DeAndre Hopkins.
You don't get to decide that he's in tier 2 though, so unfortunately, Simon.
I didn't. Sorry, I did not mean to put him there.
tier 2 barely, as in barely not in tier 1, or tier 2 barely, as in just barely not in tier 3.
Barely not in tier 1. Yeah.
Okay.
He's for me. He's right at the top of tier 2.
Andy. Great clarification.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah. He that would have been disrespectful after the season he just had to say he was borderline tier 3.
And I'm completely okay with this tier list how it's developed so far. I think this is. And usually I am upset by this point. So good job, guys.
Okay. Go ahead, Andy.
No, I was just going to say, he said, he hasn't done this before, but he kind of has. So
yeah. I was thinking the same thing, Andy.
Not like top 5 level though, like right. It was more of
That's
like
what
a borderline
I'm
top 10. Like
I'm talking
dealt with
tier
injuries.
1 level. I'm talking that
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins, Tyreek Hill level of consistency.
But we knew the
100%
talent
agree,
was
though.
there. We knew the talent and ability was
talent
there. It
is
was just yeah, like could he get the consistency down? And yeah, I agree with Andy. I like seeing that last season was enough for me to put him.
We were talking about question marks. I mean, there's also a big question mark in Buffalo with Cole Beasley if he's going to hold out or not. So,
yeah.
That's more target Stephon Diggs' way. Well, probably more targets Emmanuel Sanders' way. I feel like they probably play a similar role. But
yeah,
Cole Beasley was awesome last year.
From the recent, I think the NFL tweeted out like yesterday, the day before, they're not requiring vaccines. There's just all sorts of incentives for players who do get vaccinated. So I imagine Cole Beasley will likely be back. I'm not going to talk on what I think about that, but we'll. I think he'll play, but we'll see. Jay also said Josh and Jay's chemistry is tier 1 today. You guys are killing it. Out here looking like Diggs and Allen.
I'm
Allen. That's fine. Perfect.
Okay, guys, our next tier list. We did MLB logos last week or 2 weeks ago. And with the NBA playoffs going on, I thought this was the perfect time to tier NBA logos. Maria says, I'm stealing Rick's line today, but only 7 likes so far in the video. Let's step it up. Thank you, because I hate saying that unprompted, so I appreciate you throwing it in there so I can just read your comment, Maria. It does help us a ton, guys. If you're watching, give it a like on YouTube. It helps us out immensely. You have no idea. But today, guys, we're going to be tiering NBA logos. This can be personal bias towards your favorite team. It can be your favorite colors. It can be you hate the shape of it. There are no rules whenever you're tiering these. Just say the tier and say your reasoning, and we will average them yet again. Josh, you've got the first pick. Which of these NBA logos would you like to talk about? Some of them are cut off a little because they're not squares, but
I'm gonna go with the Lakers. They're S class.
S tier for the Lakers.
S tier. Yeah. The colors, everything about the Lakers logo, everything. It's amazing. It's perfect. It's classic. It's everything you want in an organization. The Lakers.
There you go. Josh is tier 1 for the Lakers. John Luke, what do you think about that Lakers logo?
Yeah, a tier S for me as well. Love it. It's classic. You recognize it immediately, that color combination. Mm-hmm. And it says a lot because I really don't like yellow in most things, and I like the Lakers logo.
I agree.
Man, I get what you're saying. The color combo is fantastic.
A little boring.
But it's boring. Like, come on. It's a basketball with the letters on it. I get it's classic or whatever. Well, I'm aware, but you can do a little more with it. It's just a boring logo. Like, I love the
informative
purple.
And nice.
The purple will push them up for me, the colors, but it's a B tier logo for me. I'm putting that in B. Andy, what about you? We've got 2 S's and a B for the Lakers.
Yeah, it's classic, of course, but I think it's
gonna go lower.
It's lost. I think it's lost some flair over time. I do graphics, so to me, it's a little on the boring side, like you said. It is iconic though, so you got to kind of give it some bonus points. But I mean, if it depends on what series you want to take this. It doesn't even make sense. They moved from Minneapolis to LA, and there's no lakes in LA, so it makes no sense. Period.
That's true.
But it's iconic. So from a classic sense, yeah. I know we could scratch that the team of the league. The Utah Jazz, right? I mean, so.
So you got people in here agreeing with you there. Craig and Sully are all aboard the can't put Lakers in S because they're not in freaking Minnesota. Yeah, not many lakes out there.
Oh, we got played. We played ourselves. FYS logo is a football.
Yeah, I would not put our logo in S tier.
Yeah, I would put it in a 3 tier. But it was kind of like who do we talk about? Was it Devontae Adams? That it just felt wrong to do anything less than 2. So.
Well, we've got
Devontae Adams of logos.
Perfect. And they're going to end up in the same spot because we had 2 S's and a B and a A.5 or whatever is between A and B. So that puts the Lakers right there in the A tier. Not quite an S.
Makes sense.
Andy, something we found with these ones, the non-football related ones, is it's rare getting something up in S tier for a lot of these categories. There has to be at least 3 of us agreeing that it is top tier. John Luke, which one of these do you want to talk about? Man, you know what? Before you get out of that, some people are pretty upset about that. J-Well says, Simon, get out of here. But Craig and Sully are all aboard, not putting it up in S tier. 100% Craig. And J-Well saying Maria just killed us. Maria came in and murdered us. Rick said,
I'll be honest, you guys talked me into it. Sorry.
Talk you
talk me out of S tier. I feel like it belongs in A tier more. I'll be honest with you guys. Thank you.
I'm gonna end it up. John Luke, which of these do you want to talk about next?
All right. Which one do I want to talk about? Let's talk about the Bulls. Bulls is S tier. The Bulls is S tier for me.
All right.
S tier for John Luke.
It is iconic. That's definitely a bull.
That is a bull for sure.
It's a bull.
I've never seen one in real life, but I'm pretty sure that's what they look like.
They're definitely red.
Let's say that wasn't the logo. So like that's an iconic logo. We know it. But if I went to like a tattoo shop and said I want a bull tattoo and that's what they put on my body, I would be pissed. Like why? Like with that dark shade around the eye. Like I just think it looks.
Let's be honest. That's logo for any team. Like you ask for a buck, you get that green buck right there. That's kind of weird.
Oh, I'd be hyped with that.
That hornet. Cool. Look at that purple hornet over there. The hornets. That'd be kind of weird.
Are you colorblind?
In it. There's purple in there.
I'm gonna put Bulls in B tier as well. The classic.
How much are you weighing organizational history into these decisions? Because like
however much you want to weigh it.
I was about to say it'll vary from logo to logo. If I want to use that to support my argument, I will. But if it goes against it, then I'm not even gonna bring it up.
I mean, I say that because like if you're old like me, you remember the Bulls pre-Jordan. They were like the laughing stock of the league, and nobody was getting that tattooed. Nobody was buying a Bulls jacket unless you lived across the street from the arena. Obviously, the Jordan era changed what we think of this logo and this team and this organization. So, if you remove the players and the history of the organization, you're just looking at the logo, it's all right.
It's all right. Rick's kind of agreeing with you. He said, I already said Bulls logo S tier, organization F tier. So I put it in B. JL put it in S. What tier are you putting it in?
Me?
Yeah.
C.
D or what'd you say? C. So we've got a C, an A, or an S, a B, and a C. Josh, where are you putting the Bulls tier?
I'll just put it all over. I'm gonna put it in A. So, but that means we all said something different. I don't think that's like ever happened.
1, 2, 3,
I do
4.
believe it's iconic, classic. It needs to be up there, but maybe not quite S. And I don't know if anything's gonna end up in S.
Put it in B tier. People are saying, Tim said, looking at these makes me appreciate baseball.
I was going to say,
actually,
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Sully said most of the NBA logos suck, to be honest.
When it was my turn to pick, I was going through them and I was like, oh God, all of these kind of feel like stretches.
Yeah. Honestly, there's only like 1 or 2 I would put in S tier. But I don't necessarily want to talk about those right now. I want to talk about the ones that I
are bad.
think are terrible. There's so many to choose from. We're going to go with the terrifying
Cavs logo. Shouldn't even be in the conversation.
I know, but I'm not going to be the one to bring it up because I'm a Cavs fan, and it's going to hurt my feelings because I'm going to have to put it like in D or F. But the New Orleans Pelicans logo is like the most terrifying rendition of a Pelican they could have ever put on anything. Like it's scary. I don't know. And then again, I'm taking points away because Jazz made so much more sense there. I hate everything about this logo. I'm going to put it in D tier. They get one knock up for putting the basketball as the body of the Pelican. That's moderately clever. So
there's a basketball in it. Put it in F tier.
No, the basketball keeps them from being an F. Puts them up in D for me. So I've got D tier. Andy, where are you putting the New Orleans Pelicans logo?
I kind of like the color scheme. I kind of like the look. I agree with the Pelican itself, but it's so minuscule in comparison to the overall logo. I can give the Pelicans a B.
A B tier for the Pelicans from Andy. Josh, where are you putting the Pelicans logo?
Oh, a little frozen.
You're muted.
You muted, Josh.
Muted and frozen.
What the heck?
Now you're back.
That? What the heck? Anyway, I don't love it or hate it. It's fine. It's not bad. I'm gonna put it at a B. B tier from Josh. We got 2 B's and a D. Fun. JL, what about you?
I hate it. What kind of freaking mascot is a pelican? The colors are not great. I don't love the color scheme. It's just it's not good. It's a D for me.
D. So we've got 2 Ds, 2. I think that just puts it in C, right? Right in between 2 Ds.
Yes,
and
it does.
2 Bs
Yes,
puts it right in C.
Good
New Orleans
job.
Pelicans is a C tier. And Andy,
Maria
we
just
are back.
completely ruined the Bulls logo for me. Apparently, if you turn it upside down, it makes a completely different image, and I can't unsee it now.
I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm gonna have to do that sometime with my phone.
I'm gonna have to like tweet it out or something.
Yeah,
I was going to see if there was a quick way to just rotate my screen. Okay,
I
Andy,
forgot about that one. You're right, it does, and I forgot what it is, but you're definitely right.
A crab violating a robot or something.
Okay.
It's very unfortunate. I would like to change my vote.
Oh, he says okay. Right. Like, yep, it's a crab violating. Yeah, got it. Which of these logos would you like to talk about next, Andy?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you an S, but before I get to that, I'm gonna tell you, half of the league is classic, iconic, and of the classic iconics, I as much as I hate it because I'm a Knicks fan, I would have to say the Celtics logo is just speaks to what it is. It's just unique in its own right. It's got some character. It speaks to being a basketball team, et cetera, et cetera. I hate the Celtics, but regardless, fine. The logo works as far as the classic category goes. Of the overall picture, though, I'm going a little outside the box, and I think the Toronto Raptors deserve an S grade. They started out.
I was going to bring them up next
with Barney, and transition to this. They did a complete rebrand and facelift. I've seen this Raptors hat often now, and it's just the basketball. It says nothing about Toronto, says nothing about Raptors, and you immediately know what it is, whether you're a sports fan or not. It's a basketball. It's ripped like it's been played back. A dinosaur was playing with it. Just everything Toronto's built with that organization. I would give them an S.
S tier for the Toronto Raptors from Andy. Josh, where are you putting the Toronto Raptors logo?
I just said I was going to bring them up next. They're an S tier for me as well. Maybe one of the last S tiers in my mind. I love it. Everything you said, Andy. I love the basketball. The Raptor kind of looks like he's playing a little basketball. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. I like the colors. It's dark, red and black. It looks cool. Let's go. S for sure.
2 S tiers. Sully said put the Raptors in S tier. It's Craig's birthday. Well, we're on our way to do it. So we'll see what JL has to say. Where are you putting the Raptors, John Luke?
Yeah, I love me a good minimalist circular logo like that. So it's S tier.
And it's S tier for me. Because they get hate. People think it's tacky that they're the Raptors. They're like, oh, they're Jurassic Park franchise. If you say that, you hate fun. Their logo is maybe the most fun in the NBA. Like it's awesome, whether it's the ripped basketball or the actual Raptor itself. It's such a unique name, and they do a great job with the logo, not making it too ridiculous or over the top. It's S tier.
Every logo has a basketball in it.
We have, but the Lakers is literally just a basketball. That's the whole thing. It's like, hey, basketball. Raptors are an S tier now. Andy, you proposed the first one that we all unanimously agreed on. Maria said Celtics is an S and F at the same time, if that's possible.
It is.
And Anthony said, first Nickelback, now the Raptors. Screw this.
Thing. I love that he's mad about the Nickelback thing.
Okay, Josh, which logo did you want to talk about next?
So I'm going to bring up these guys. The colors. The colors are really what wins it over for me. It's the Knicks. Blue and orange are my favorite color combination, first of all, and I just love a light blue. The logo isn't amazing. It's kind of classic. It's got its own, originality and, just a lot. There are a lot of Knicks fans out there, right? I'm going to put this
There's
in
one
A.
right above
I'm going
you.
to put this in A.
I was going to say, be careful, or Andy's gonna punch down.
Cool. Hey, I'm putting it in an A, and I'm excited to see when we come back around the horn to you. So to see what you think.
Okay.
But yeah, what do you think?
Josh put it in A. Yeah, John Luke, where are you putting the Knicks?
I would put it in a B. I don't think there's anything that sticks out, especially me. My dad was a big Knicks fan. He grew up in Brooklyn, but it's nothing that special. So I think it's just a B. I do love the orange.
JL.
I'm a sucker for orange.
Yeah, I love the colors, and I know I said the Lakers were just a basketball, but the Knicks are a basketball plus this like 3D in your face font. Like you can't look at that logo and not have it like pop out at you. And then Anthony said Knicks logo screams
It kinda
1995. And I was going to bring that up as well, but in the best way possible. I love like a lot of these logos are trying to look more sleek. And the Knicks are just like in your face. Here we are. We're the Knicks. We play basketball.
I know exactly how to make that on Microsoft word art, like that font. Like I could do that all the time as a kid.
It's A for me though. Knicks is an A logo. It's got that mix of classic and not trying to be too new or new school. Andy, where are you putting the Knicks logo?
Yeah, it's my team. It is definitely 1995. I think that's right around the time they actually did this upgraded logo, which looks identical to the one before it. Only the one before it was more rounded. So they really didn't do anything at all. New York is, I believe, the only city that has two major franchises in every major sport. So of course we have the Yankees and the Mets, we have the Giants and the Jets, we have the Knicks and the Nets, and it always seems like there's one that tries to be, the mature one, and one that's the organization that likes to have fun. So the Knicks we have to be classic. We have to be the Yankees of this town. Where the Nets are like, hey, we'll do anything, we'll try anything, we'll do this, we'll do that. So in that regard, yeah, the Knicks logo is just boring. It is my team, but it's boring. If we're giving it any bonus points for iconic, then maybe a B, but I'd even throw this in the C. If I throw the Bulls in the C, I got to throw the Knicks in the C too.
A C for the Knicks from the Knicks fan. You were the lowest on it. So we've got a C, two B's, or no, two A's and a B for the Knicks logo. That averages us out to a B. It's right there with the Chicago Bulls.
If I was a Knicks fan, I'd be wearing these colors all the time.
Those are fun colors.
It's boring, and then you get associated as a Mets fan.
Well, really just be. Oh yeah, true.
Or Andy, I've said it. Islanders, like.
So we went to Clemson jail, and I didn't go in there. Like at any given moment, 25% of the people there are wearing orange. Like it's a very normal color to see there. So like a large portion of my wardrobe was orange in college. You leave Clemson though, and like go home to visit wherever you're from, Atlanta, Baltimore, New York, and you realize quickly how bright our orange is. It's when it's not everybody wearing it, orange stands out amongst like the muted like blacks and blues and beiges. It is a loud color for sure. But we got the Knicks in B tier. Josh, did you pick that one? You did. So John Luke, which logo would you like to talk about next?
All right. Let's see. Let's talk about the 76ers. I think 76ers is an S tier. I feel like it's iconic, and it's like pretty simple. It's not too much in your face, but it stands out. You're going to recognize it.
There we go. So S tier for 76ers from you?
You know what? I'm going to put it in A.
A.
Put it in A.
JL says A. I think something I like about the 76ers logo is that they kind of incorporate some history into it with the 13 stars above the 7. Like they've got the Philadelphia prominently displayed up there. It's A tier for me. It is a little bit boring, but I like the history baked in. So it's A tier as well. Andy, where are you putting the 76ers logo?
It's right there with the Knicks and the Bulls for me. Decent, nothing outrageous. I like the colors. I like the red, white, and blue combo. I like the 7 being the red and the 6 being the blue and all that. But the variance there, but nothing special for me. I'll throw it in. I would throw it in C, which is going to bump it up to B.
There you go. So Andy throws it in C, and Josh, where are you putting the 76ers logo?
I'm throwing it in A as well. I'm right there with you guys. I like it a lot, and I think it stands out in my mind. Where's that going to land it though?
Right here.
That's the land.
It's going to land at 2.5. It's going to land in B. It is a little bit higher on the B scale though, so we'll throw it right there at the front. And it is my turn to pick a logo to talk about. I am going to pick the You know what? Let's go ahead and talk about the Portland Trailblazers logo.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
I like that one.
I forgot about them actually.
It's unique. It's different. It stands out. You know exactly what it is whenever you see it. I I like the colors. The red and white look really nice together, and then throw that on a black hat or a black jersey. I just think it's super sleek. Like if you're going to go like sleek, modern logo, the Trailblazers did it right. Honestly, an S tier logo for me. It's joining the Raptors up there. Andy, what do you think? Where are you putting the Trailblazers logo?
Yeah, I could throw it in the S2. It's simplistic. It hasn't needed to be changed. It's iconic. I don't know what the initial intent was, but everybody knows what it is now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of irrelevant at this point. But I mean, it kind of speaks to how good it has been for so long that they've never needed to really tweak it. So I think that in itself, all these logos, even the iconic ones, have had some kind of tweaks to it. Portland is not. So that in itself should be S category all the way.
There we go. The consistency. 1, 2 S tiers. One for me and Andy. Josh, where are you putting the Trailblazers logo?
I like it a lot. I'm gonna put in A tier. I used to have a Trailblazers jersey. I think it's like the only NBA jersey I ever had. But yeah, I like the colors. I like what they're doing. You know, Rip City or the Blazers, Trailblazers. They're cool. They're cool. A for me though.
Scott Fish comes in, says, just so longtime listeners, viewers know, we had discussed me doing shows fixing all their brackets and tiers, but alas, we realized it is just far too much work. Sorry for getting your hopes up. Many of them I'd basically just have to start from scratch. It's not just moving a piece or two. The whole thing would need to be scrapped. I'd have to hire a team to help me correct all their errors.
8 hours a day.
Yeah, we need a full team. Scott's going to lead a team. That's his next big move. He hasn't announced it yet, actually.
Once we make enough money, we'll coach Scott Fish, hire him full time just to fix our brackets.
Just right after he'll go live immediately after us.
Elon Musk is trying to get to Mars, and we're trying to fix TIERS.
Big things over
priorities.
He just starts his stream like directly after us, and he just takes the whatever tier list that we started and just fixes it.
No.
There's no downtime.
John Luke, where are you putting the Trailblazers logo?
It's S tier for me. I love it too. I think it's awesome.
Wow, let's go.
Okay, we got 3 S's and an A, so I'm pretty sure that puts us in S tier. It does. Welcome to the S tier with the Raptors, Portland Trailblazers. Andy, you're up next. Which one of these logos would you like to talk about? We'll probably go through one more time real quick. Get 4 more up there.
All right, so I would have to say my next 2 would be the Nuggets. I just like the direction they've tried to go with this, the mining, the color scheme, everything like that. But if I had to choose one, if we don't get back around to me, I'm going to go with the Wizards. This team had to rebrand themselves when people were upset with the Bullets being the team name. Came back with the Wizards, kind of boring. Initially got out the gate with some horrible color choices. During the Jordan era, the Gilbert Arenas era, Agent Zero. They tried some different things. It wasn't working. Go back. You're in the nation's capital. The red, white, and blue has to be there. They did it. They've got the monument in there. They've got stars in there. They've got it all going. It looks brilliant to me.
I've never noticed the monument.
I was just about to say, Andy, I don't know if you were looking at our faces, but all 3 of us just went. Like all of us were just like, what? Oh my God.
Yes. It steps it up for me.
You completely changed where I was going to tier this by pointing that out. Wow. That's awesome.
Incorporated it into the basketball design. So, I mean, there's just some nice things going on here. So I'll give it an S tier because
S tier.
If I wasn't a basketball fan, if I was just looking at these as just a blind observer, well, I couldn't be blind if I was looking. You get what I'm saying? I would say the Wizards one would stick out to me.
S tier for Wizards from Andy. And Sully says Wizards beats the Washington basketball team as a team name. Indeed, it does. Josh, where are you putting the Wizards logo? Now that you know the Washington monument's in there.
It's an A because it was going to be like a C for me, actually. I don't know. I see it a lot. Maybe I live around Baltimore, but it's A. It's A. I like it.
We've got an S and an A. John Luke, where are you putting it?
Yeah, I was a Wizards fan growing up. I even like the old logo. Probably not as aesthetically pleasing, but definitely for the
nostalgically pleasing.
Yeah, I'm down with S.
S from jail. And you know what? I was going to put it down in C. I thought it was just the red, white, and blue basketball, but you pointed out that, and I gave props to the Philly for including some history in there. I love whenever they incorporate like anything specific to the city and their logos, that's S tier for me. That bumps it up. It is very clean, and to put the Washington Monument in there in such a way where we can look at it and not even realize it, like, that's a really cool design. S tier, and it ends up in S with 3 S votes. Josh, man, Andy, this whole tier list is worth it just to learn that today. Josh, where are you putting it? Also, before we do that, Maria says, I feel lucky to have missed the fruit one. Jail doesn't even like watermelon. And Sully was making a request to Scott for his first show. Please start with the fruit tier. Andy, I'm not sure we've ever made people more mad than whenever we did a fruit tier list. They were very upset with our takes. And by people, I mean me as well. I was really upset.
What actually won?
I think grapes ended up in S tier preposterously.
Pineapples were up there.
It was ridiculous.
It was a good list.
Josh,
Can't get on board with that.
Before I get upset about all the fruit stuff again, which of these logos would you like to talk about next?
So I'm gonna just go ahead and put the Detroit Pistons in F. It's boring. Maybe it's kind of classic, but I don't know. Talk about things I could make. Yes, and I have no background in anything design, anything like that. But F. It's so boring to me. Maybe you guys disagree. Maybe I'm missing something. Ooh, maybe there's a monument somewhere.
There's a piston in the corner, really small.
You look really closely. You can see a portrait of Ford himself hiding inside the O. JL, where are you putting the Pistons logo? We've got
Eminem riding his back, piggyback style. It's F for me too.
Okay. It's not even like really a basketball. Know what I mean? Like that's not for sure a basketball. That's a red circle with a blue circle around it. Sorry, any Pistons fans, like, come on. That's an
actually
logo for me.
Looks like it could be a football.
Yeah,
in the middle.
It could be a football in the middle, or like a rugby ball. Yeah, that is 100% got that.
An eyeball with like 2 capillaries that are pronounced on either side.
Anthony said they made a vegan hate the fruit tier list episode. Think about that for a second. Andy, where are you putting the Pistons logo?
Well, you guys sold me. F.
Suck it, Pistons. F tier.
Let's go. Get them out.
Welcome
here.
to the bottom. Skip D, went straight to F. John Luke, what logo would you like to talk about?
Oh man. All right. Let's talk about the
Just putting this out there. You're okay. I'll bring up the one that Maria brought up. We'll end on that one.
Yeah, the
Celtics logo.
Andy brought up a little bit earlier that it's iconic. I do like their green. And I like when they have like the green and black jerseys. Everything else I hate about their logo though. It is so cheesy to have this like goofy cartoon guy there. I absolutely despise it. It's F. It is fully F for me.
F tier.
It's a professional team that has this goofy clip art looking dude on here on their logo. That's their full logo.
I love it. I think the green is great, and I think having this leprechaun is hilarious. Like, that's so much fun for a professional basketball team to have that as their logo, and it's iconic. Like, it checks all the boxes: fun, iconic, great colors. I'm sure there's other boxes, but if you only look at those 3, it checks all 3 of them. S tier for me. So we've got an F. We've got an F and an S. We're all over the place on this one so far. Andy, where are you putting the Celtics logo? You talked a bit about it earlier.
I would say S. Of the classic, iconic ones, that to me, like I said before, rings out the most.
We've got 2 S tiers and an F tier. Josh, where are you putting it?
I'm gonna put in A tier. I don't know where that's gonna wind up, but I think it deserves respect. It deserves respect, JL. I'm sorry. I don't love it, so I'm not putting an S, but I'm putting in A.
Well, JL, you really brought the average down, bringing it down to a B right there. But it finished with 2.5, which rounds up down there to a B. So the Celtics join the 76ers, Bulls, and
too much
Knicks.
of the holiday party into a NBA logo somehow.
Also, Sully said Pistons might be better at football than the Lions. That's true. But the last logo I want to talk about, Maria, you brought it up earlier, so we got to talk about it, is the Miami Heat logo. Maria said it looks like an eggplant. Someone else said it looked like a part of the male genitalia. So we've got a couple different theories on what it actually is. What it's supposed I get the idea that it's like flames coming out of the back, but I like, why is it melting? Why is it just turning into the flames? There's no color transition. It's all hidden by this hoop, or that kind of looks like a halo randomly thrown on this oddly shaped basketball. And then the color's just weird on that basketball too. F tier for me. I think it's gross. I don't like looking at it, and I don't want to wear any, like, I would almost not be a fan of, even if I was like born and raised in Miami, just so I didn't have to wear things with the Heat logo on it. Sorry, but not that sorry. Yeah. F tier for me. Andy,
I feel like this is a bad version of it, because I always kind of remember liking it more, but seeing this one, it kind of reminds me of something falling into a toilet.
I make them. Talking about things I can make. I make that on a daily basis.
You drop it from a height, like coming in from it's a full-on drop.
Andy, the like attention to detail you have with some of these, and then the comparisons, able to point things out. I need your opinion on like every logo I see from now on. I just want to like set like, okay, Andy, give me the down low on this logo. Where are you putting the Heat one though? The deuce dropping in a toilet.
Something dropping in a toilet. It's got to be an F now.
We got two Fs. Anthony said Heat. Anthony said Heat is F tier. Looks like jail trying to use MS Paint.
Actually, Anthony's saying F tier. I might have to put it to A.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, bump it up.
Josh, where are you putting the Heat logo?
I'll put it in B. I think I kind of like it. Yeah, it's fine.
We got two Fs and a
LeBron
B.
repped it, dude. Come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, he also repped the Cavs logo, which was terrible, and the Lakers logo, which I don't like very much. But I love LeBron. John Luke, where are you putting the Heat logo?
The Heat logo is a little bit outdated. Like I can't remember when was the last time they even changed this. But it does kind of look like an eyeball coming out of a socket or something. I think the more important part of this logo is the font. I like the font of Miami Heat, but I agree partially with what you guys are saying. I think it's C for me.
Okay. And just to answer your question, it's been their logo since the 88-89 season, this nice. Current rendition of it. The site I used to pull all these logos from, like right underneath, just told me the year that it got implemented. So that's the only reason I had it readily available. So we've got a C from JL. Our last one ends up, that is 4.75, which puts it in the D tier, right above the Pistons. The Pistons are
we filled it out.
We did.
Can I nominate one more?
Yes, absolutely, Andy. You can nominate one more.
What tier?
Because you guys, I'm gonna have a S, because I'm having way more fun with this than I thought I would. But the Sacramento Kings logo is unique in its own right. I love the color scheme with the purple and the gray. I love the fonts in there. I love the fact you see the basketball, it's crowns like a king, and it's also the mountains of California in the crown as well. So there's got a lot going on with that. And I love the simplicity of it, but there's also a lot of detail and context to it.
I was wondering what was going on. I was like, is this like just like a crooked city going on top there? Like what's going on at the top of the logo there?
That's the
mountains. I didn't know that it was.
And it's also the top of a crown for a king.
Yeah. I was about to say, I knew it was a crown, but I thought it was just like a stylized crown. But the mountains changes again how I look at it. Anthony said this earlier. He's saying it again. He says Kings equals Bart Simpson. Couldn't disagree more, Andy. And Sully yet again saying, holy crap, never saw the mountains. Neither did I. Josh, where are you putting that Kings logo?
Oh man, I was ready to put this lower, but it's an A. It's A. It's good. It's good. They made it good. They did a good job. I thought it was bad at first.
They also, if you notice, the basketball was used in a way to kind of represent a head with the crown being on top, so it actually looks like a person as well.
I like the color scheme.
Yes.
Oh my god, yeah, A.
John Luke, where are you putting it?
I don't love the color scheme. I'm not a big fan of those like darker tones when you use like two dark neutral tones like that, like gray and purple. I like a little bit of warmth thrown in there, and I don't love the basketball donk that it's got at the bottom there.
Donk.
But I agree with what Andy is saying, and I think it, like, from a design perspective, it all kind of works together, which is nice. It's a B for me. It's a B.
Okay, we've got S, A, B in order going down the list. Am I going to put it in C to keep the trend going? No, I'm not. I love the color scheme, JL. I couldn't disagree more. I think the purple and gray is so cool. I just think it's like calming and nice. And then the mountains just kicks it up a notch. Like they kept it simplistic, but incorporated all these elements. I was going to do A till you pointed out the mountains because I like the color scheme and the simplicity and the shape of it so much. But you convinced me. That's an S tier logo. And that puts it at 1.75, which puts it right there in the A tier with the Lakers.
The purple. Yeah.
Purple team representing in the A. Okay, guys, any last minute ones you need to talk about before we jump off? Otherwise, we're going to call it right there.
Hey, I will say,
Andy, you said you were trying to grow your YouTube channel. I don't know. Maybe you could start making some videos just breaking down logos and like what people are missing. Because
opposite.
I
said yeah, exactly.
I'm doing the graphics for LQ for Laquan's videos for Real Deal Fantasy. So if you like any of the graphics, I basically do all the graphics for XTP. So hopefully those are winning some appeal. But yeah, I have fun with it. I like doing it. My best friend, I remember driving him to ESPN for his interview where he got a job and was doing graphics for them, and then left there to be the Knicks and the Rangers head art director. Now he's in the process of doing some other things. But it's my grandfather's an artist. My wife is artistic, so it's just always something that you don't think of having a skill, and I don't think I do. But definitely, obviously, I'm looking at things a little bit more deeper than
you got an eye for it.
Definitely have an eye for detail. That's no doubt.
and
also,
Anthony
trading does make fantasy fun. Trading makes fantasy fun, by the way.
Of course.
Trading does. Anthony wants to know, Andy, why does the Maverick horse have so much sass?
The Maverick
is true. That's a good point.
So much sass.
It looks like every single anime character ever. The closed eye.
This is all Mark Cuban. This is how Mark Cuban views himself. This is how Mark Cuban views himself.
Yeah, he's a long. He just wishes he could grow his hair down to his back.
Can we start referring to him exclusively as the Sassy Maverick and like see if it catches on? Sure. That's the Mark Cuban, the Sassy Maverick. And Anthony wants to. Can we have Andy make a new FYI? I want the Mavericks logo combined with the Kings logo, combined with the Trailblazers logo, and then it'll
make
just
sure
be
you put a monument in there.
Josh, that is what monument are we throwing in there?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Guys, that's it for us today. We've gone a bit over, but we did some awesome tiers. Wide receiver part 1, part 2 will be coming your way next week. And you know what? These NBA logos were fun. I think we probably got to do a part 2 with this.
We should do
Andy,
that and MLB.
Yeah, we should do that and MLB. We should do part 2s on both of those. Andy, thank you so much for coming on today. I really appreciate it. And guys, if you do not already follow Andy on Twitter, he's on Twitter at People's Pen. And he's the owner of Expand the Box Score. Check them out. Any place else people can find you, Andy?
No, that's pretty much it. I like to be active on Twitter. So if I'm doing it, I'm posting it. So if you're looking for it, you'll find it on my timeline.
Hell yeah.
Perfect. And we had IDP Army in here saying Andy Singleton is the GOAT.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate
it. Go to detail.
Okay, guys, that's it for us today. We are out of here. We'll be back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time playing brackets. But until then, adios, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Love you guys.